According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, infant mortality currently stands at 69 per 1,000 live births, while for under fives, it rises to 128 per 1,000 live births. More than half of the under 5 deaths, that's 64%, results from malaria, pneumonia or diarrhea. Currently, Nigeria contributes 10% of global deaths for pregnant mothers, placing its maternal mortality rate at 576 per 100,000 live births, the fourth highest on earth. This sounds the need for urgent attention to the health sector, emphasized by the consequences of COVID-19 pandemic. To cater for this, the 2022 budgets allocate 876.38 billion naira as a total for health allocation. The Ministry of Health and agencies gets 770.87 billion naira, immunization 49.37 billion naira, basic healthcare provision fund gets 56.14 billion naira, and hazard allowance for health workers has 50 billion naira.
When Mr. President was going to sign that budget, he signed the budget with a lot of reservations based on observations in terms of alleged padding. There is a process on now to submit these amendments, which Mr. President hinted would be made and be sent to the National Assembly before you can then have the final figures. So, but having said that, the first thing to say on a general basis is that we of course, we have mandates as given by Mr. President. These include issues having to do with mandatory and universal health insurance schemes, of course, with collaboration between the national and the sub-national government.
It's no wonder that the Universal Health Insurance Scheme is prioritized for 2022, as it has the potential to make up for funding. However, while the National Health Insurance Scheme became operational in 2005, records show that almost 77% of Nigerian population still practice out-of-pocket payment. The solution may lie in decentralizing the scheme.
Insurance is a game of number. When you have the number, the chances are that you are going to have reduced premium. All of us will begin to also think of, okay, look, we want to go universal health coverage. Can we encourage all Nigerians to have at least the basic health care plan, on top of which people can top up if they have ability to pay for it?
So far, 19 states, which include Anambra, Delta and Lagos, have adopted universal health coverage through establishments of their respective health insurance schemes. However, personnel and brain drain, which surged in the midst of COVID-19, stands in the way of optimal implementation.
There are a lot of setbacks by the emergence of this COVID-19. Because we have a challenge of human resource, looking into the number of health facilities we have, 819. And of course, looking into the number of health personnel we have, to manage these 819 health facilities is not easy.
The Minister of State for Health hints that with the myriad of needs in the sector, the federal government is working with the private sector on various fronts.
One of such, you recall that not long ago, the Afro-Exim Bank, they had the turning of the sword here in Abuja. Don't forget that we have BVNL right now, the Vaccine Nigeria Limited, which is a joint venture, a kind of a special purpose vehicle that that has been put in place. It's a joint venture between the federal and the private pharmaceutical company.
The collaboration with the private sector to boost funding may already be yielding fruit, as seen in the recently launched 62.1 billion naira HIV Trust Fund of Nigeria, which is to cater for not just HIV, but other deadly diseases. Ini John Mekwa, Channels Television News.